Okay, we are calling to order the Tuesday, July 5th, 2022 special school board meeting. Can I do roll call? Danielle Bailey,
Here.
Ben Nguyen,
Here.
Andy Franklin,
Here.
Carla Pennington Cross,
Here.
Tamika Vukovic is here. Okay, can I have a motion to go in an executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ben Nguyen, seconded by Andy Franklin. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, let's move into executive session. Who's Dan? Oh, you.
Sorry, I know how to fix it now, right? Let me see.
Hold on one second. I gotta. Younga, who is that?
Anna,
Okay.
I moved Katie out.
Lindsay, no offense. Hold on. I'm gonna pause this. Let Katie in.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ben, second by Carla. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Tamika,
The motion carries.
sorry,
Pardon?
could we possibly, could one of you possibly, since Lindsay has 7 minutes, could we move security cameras to 2A?
Oh, she has to leave. Okay. Is there a motion to move security cameras to the first on the list?
Second.
Moved by Andy, second by Ben. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Go, Lindsay.
Thank you. Yep. So at the start of the school year, we talked about 2 different things that we wanted to update in the school for safety: telephones in the classroom, which are going to be installed in July. And then also having some updated security cameras in our building. For example, we do not have a camera in our pool area, which is a huge liability. The 2 stairwells on either side by the lunchroom do not have one. And then some additional ones outside because we really only have one that looks out to the parking lot. So we had 3 different companies come in and give us proposals for it. The first one was one that was recommended by our North Shore districts. And the second one was a company that just came in and did a proposal. And the third one was New Line, which is currently our technology company that we use in the district. I'm recommending going with New Line technology. A couple different reasons is one, they already know all of our networks and it would save us the cost of installation. 2, he gave us some discounted rates because if we would go through them, it would end up being about 20,000 or 25,000 less than one of the quotes. And they'd be able to get it done before the start of the school year. And they'd be available to help us with any setup and long-term needs that we would have for support. And some of the big perks that have is that we would be able to access the camera system for whoever we set up for access. So it would probably be leaders like administrators, and then Mike Carlson, the head of B&G, that would be able to access cameras for both buildings. So right now, if for some reason Mike needed to look at something at Parkway, he has to go to Parkway's cameras and look at it. And so now we would be able to have both schools in one portal, essentially. And then one of the other pieces, it also has a communication shared element with it. So things like if you wanted to do send out that there was a lockdown or if there was a fire drill, you can send that across both schools across the phone system. There's a lot of features that would help with communications in the buildings with our staff, and then just make sure that everybody's on the same page. We can get all sorts of trainings for our administrators, as well as also being able to have our staff being able to utilize it. Another feature is, so for example, if we wanted to track an incident that happened, rather than having to pull up multiple different cameras and trying to find it in that same time, you can just put something in and follow it through the trail of all the cameras. So it makes it a lot easier to make sure that any footage that we're getting is accurate in time, and it's a much clearer image because it is digital. So it's looking at things that are happening with student behaviors, especially with the hallway monitors that we'll have for the upcoming years. They'll be able to have a good visual. And also it comes up with things like workman's comp. Like we get a workman's comp claim that there was an injury, being able to clearly look at any of the areas and being able to see when or how an injury occurred. So. And the reason I'm not waiting until the board meeting is because there is a supply chain issue. So and this is across the area, just with that, if we were to wait even a couple weeks, it could potentially push us into the winter, being able to get the cameras. So I asked if we could put it on tonight to be able to at least move forward so we can get them installed and ordered before the start of school year.
Okay, do I have a motion on a recommendation that we use, was it Ally,
New line.
New line.
New Line?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Carla, second by Ben. Discussion? Katie, do you have any discussion? Since she's the only one here.
Come
No?
on, Katie.
No, that sounds good to me. You're good.
Okay. Do you have any discussion within the board?
Just a quick, so New Line was 48, about 48,000. Munger was around 78. I don't see a total on the engineered security, but was it like, just
So it
curious.
was about 60. And the reason that I was not really fond of their proposal is because I had them look through Good Hope, Parkway, and Glen Hill, and it was through multiple communications. I still was not able, like, he didn't include Parkway in that
Oh.
quote. So that's the quoted amount, but that's not including Parkway. So
Yeah.
after 3 times of reaching out and asking him to update it and still not getting accurate information, it did not sit well.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We have a motion, a second. We will take a vote. All in favor? Say
Aye.
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 I think that's everyone. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you,
gonna-
Lindsay.
Hey, party.
We're gonna go into.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Policy work service. Go ahead, Allison.
So at the last board meeting, one of the things that was requested was more information from Neola, and I was able to get in contact with their representative. It is not necessarily apples to apples, because what we were looking at in the WASB proposal was having them just work with us this summer and do some extra legwork to help us get governance and those first 2 tables of policies that were in the quick check done. And Neola is unable to pull that out and give us a separate proposal because they would only just do the whole job. So that would be included in the whole job of the policy work. So what I did in the chart is I gave the side-by-side comparison of all the work, and then I added on like what that 3,200 would be from WASB so that you could see an actual total, because that would include that work with Neola. I know that there's some, uncertainty about whether or not we want to move forward with Neola or WASB with the policy work. So I just wanted to bring back the recommendation around just doing that first piece with WASB. I did talk to the Neola person, and he said we wouldn't lose all that work. I don't think they'd give us any sort of credit because those policies are done, but we wouldn't have to have those redone. So if we did that initial work with WASB, we could keep those policies and then do the rest of the work with Neola. As you can see, there's a pretty significant cost difference between the two, because with the biggest reason is because with WASB, you get emails whenever a policy is updated or changed, plus they come in and review them throughout the year, and that's all included. With Neola, there's they come in once during the year to review, but then it's an extra amount. So I think that's probably, besides the upfront cost, the biggest add for Neola is that you're paying that like $2,600 per year for policies to be reviewed and updated. just personally, I'm comfortable with doing the WASB work. If we were to get those first two areas done this summer, I'm really comfortable working with the policy committee and with the policy resource guide to start like knocking out some of those other policies and doing that work. That's just my personal take. I've used it in a different district. So, but I know that there was also a conversation around efficiency, right? And like what would be the most efficient. So my recommendation that I'm bringing tonight is that I would recommend that we approve that the WASB proposal just to get board governance, which I think, we just had a whole conversation about trust, right? So, and when we met with Bob, we talked about how board governance could help really start establishing some of that so that I know what your expectations are for me. I know how you want things done around board governance, which is going to help me give you guys what you need in order to build some trust. And then obviously table 1 and 2 is just getting some policies that we're missing in place so that we're in compliance statutorily. I did
Okay,
attach the quick check so that you guys could look at that
Thank you.
because it was tables 1 and 2 and it's just over 20 policies in those 2 tables. It would also be
3 and 4 are pretty daunting, right? There's a
hold
lot.
on. Let's get a motion out there first.
sorry.
A motion to approve Allison's recommendation and work with WASB's policy services to go through section 100 board governance work, as well as table 1 of the quick check for, was it mandatory? Sorry, table, what should I say for the last part? Sorry.
Yeah, tables 1 and 2. Yeah.
Tables 1 and 2 in the quick check.
Second.
We have our motion by Danielle, second by Ben. Katie, do you have anything to say about this? Katie is just the focus of everything now.
Not really.
Okay, board
You won't
discussion,
let us see your beautiful face tonight?
board
Oh,
discussion.
Well, no, because my house is a disaster, so no.
Hold on. Board discussion.
I have one question. Well, I'm fine. I like Allison's recommendation. Reviewing the PRG helped me out a lot. So having access to that to see what some of the sample policies, what the template looked like. I'm okay with it for this initial set of work. I do want to more deeply explore the Neola WASB option when it comes to doing the rest and what that looks like. And I'd be curious at that time to sort of get some of Andy's feedback, because I think Nicolay is currently working with Neola, or he has some experience with that. So at a different time. But yeah, I think it is a little bit about efficiency and what's going to work best for, because it's a lot. There's a lot in that quick check now that I've seen it. So
And
Well,
and the one of the
yeah.
one of the things I was gonna ask you, Danielle, is to talk to, because I was talking to a Nicolay school board and they hate it. They think that the language is non-inclusive. The language they use is sometimes biased. So I would just make sure we're gonna do some more research on that to see more than just one opinion, but kind of get a couple of different opinions on it.
So the
Andy,
Nicolay
go ahead.
process, yeah, let me just say, the Nicolay process is different from ours too, and that may also be a function of how the boards have kind of evolved, right? So Neola sends a lot of updates, and there's a lot of updates and readings. What typically happens as a process through Nicolay is Neola will send the updates, they'll redline something, we'll get a copy of that recommendation on an agenda, and then we'll do a first and a second read on it. Where Nicolay is different than Glen Hills is they're not as active in the policy process. So while we could always be different, what we tend to do as a policy practice is we will actively engage on our policies, and we'll have everyone go through that, and we come up with our own conclusions. Now, we need some help doing that because there are things out there that are old, right? I mean, there are things that we want to get off the books, and there are things to modify us. I feel that at least with WASB, if we continue with them, we have an opportunity to kind of maintain our own approach to how we do this and be, more involved. I'd like to see more about what WASB can do, and there is a price differential. For me, it's not about experimenting. I just feel like, if WASB can give us really good feedback, on an individual basis that's focused on Wisconsin school boards, we might find that a little bit more directly relevant. I feel like a lot of what goes on with Neola is updating language, and a lot of it is more technical than it is, so far substantive. And that's just because they're doing so much of it. So there may be a lesser degree of, I guess, the volume of changes that we come back with. And so they may come back and focus on more substantive issues. So I will go with Allison's recommendation on this. And, that's my thoughts. That's the most I can offer about the differences so far.
Does anybody else have any comments? If we're,
Allison has her hand up.
I'm ignoring Allison.
It
Does anybody?
was to respond to Danielle.
No, we understand.
I was just gonna tell you that the guy can come and talk and do a presentation from Neola. Done.
I'm trying to help Danielle get out of here on time. So can we have a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is that, I couldn't hear everybody, so I'm gonna do a roll call because I don't know if everybody's in agreement. I vote aye. Carla,
Aye.
Ben,
Aye.
Andy,
Aye.
Danielle?
I,
Okay, I just wanted to make sure 5-0, motion passes. The next order of business, I would like to lay over to the next meeting because I have been trying to get a hold of Ann, but I really need to talk with her about some of the specifics. So I would like to lay this over until our next board meeting, if that's okay with anybody. Can I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Moved by Ben. I'll second it by Tamika. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Motion carries 5-0. And guess what? We have the third thing on our thing is motion to adjourn,
So moved.
moved by Ben,
I'll second.
second by Andy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
And
goodbye.
got Ben
Bye-bye.
and got her out before 6:15.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thank you, Tamika.
Carla, I do have to say something really quick to you. It was so fun doing the parade with you. You were so fun.
I had so much fun with you.
And
That was
Danielle, we're
fantastic.
gonna find a babysitter for you next year because
You
I
see
think
the
you would have.
20 children I was with though?
Yeah, you
That was
had like
crazy.
a tribe.
And Tamika, you kept bellowing my name at the crowd, and it was so humiliating. So I was glad to get the chance to